Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And today's tutorial is a little bit different. We're not doing anything specific to the Airbus. Today I'm going to share with you some information that one of our viewers shared with me that I thought was really freaking cool. And that is how to figure out what your top of descent should be. Okay, and for those of you who don't know, you have TOC and TOD. TOC is top of climb. This is the altitude at which the aircraft levels out and you reach your cruise altitude. And then you have your top of descent, which is the point or location at which you would begin descending the aircraft back down to the landing altitude. All right, and so I had been speaking with one of our viewers about some different tips and tricks that he was given, and decided that this was a neat one to share. I was really happy with the information that he was given. His name is Transpilot, and if he has a YouTube channel, please check him out. He's right here, Transpilot. But I really appreciated his information, and so he gave me a couple pieces of information that I thought was pretty interesting that I would pass on to everyone, because I know not everyone reads the comments below. So first thing he gave me was, if you guys have been following along with this series, our flight from Tucson to Los Angeles International, we were cruising up at 36,000 feet. He sort of gave me a tip that for short hops like that, we don't need to really jump that far. Going all the way up to 36,000 feet, we can do more like 220 or 240, so 22 to 24,000 feet. So that was pretty good information as well. For a 350 to 400 mile-ish trip. Anything above 400 to 500-ish miles, then we would absolutely want to go up into the higher altitudes of 36,000 feet like we are today. We are still up at 36,000 feet because I'm getting the arrival information into the document today, so hopefully that will be up and ready tonight. Now, this will be revision 1. The doc will go live on the Patreon site before the night is over. It will be the first revision. I will absolutely be looking for comments and feedbacks to the document. If there are parts that are unclear, if there are things that you guys feel need to be expanded upon, information, things that were omitted, please tell me. Especially the fact that you have to subscribe. It's $10 a month minimum in order to acquire the doc. If I'm going to be charging for it, I'm not one who's just going to sit here and say, nope, this is what you get, either like it or don't. No, that's not my style. I want to be able to make this thing as thorough as possible. I just need you guys to be patient, though. It does take a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. I still have a full-time job, 3 kids, the wife, the works, and at some point, just like to do things as a hobby as well. So please bear with me on that. And then there's a bunch of other documents that I have in the works as well. So I'm working on a bunch of different projects at once, which is why it's all taking a little bit of time. I am a one-man show, so please keep that in mind. But anyway, getting on to the context of this, and it's the question that I asked him that I was more curious about was how to figure out what your top of descent should be. Because it doesn't always tell you. I feel like I'm sure it does, but maybe it's just a little confusing for me. Okay, so for example, if we come down here, go to our flight plan, let's zip it down in here. So I know from looking at it, okay, now, like, for example, this has flight level 380. That's not even what we had. This is what Microsoft Flight Simulator put in for us. So it had us going even higher than I did. But it has up at 380, so the top of descent would be right here about McQueen. But then Midler, okay, shows the... basically our top of descent starting at McQueen, then coming all the way down to 24,000. But the Hollywood one right here, this is where we're between these two waypoints, is what the flight plan that I have. Let me pull that up for you guys. Give me a second here. I didn't think about that one. There it is. Maybe gonna load today. Okay, there it is. If you look at your flight plan on SimBrief, you can actually see both of them. So we have, let's get down to our detailed route here. Here's our top of climb. So right about the time that we hit Gila Bend, we should be up at 36,000. You can see the flight level right there. And then we pass Eastwind here. Okay, let me try to scroll this down a little bit so you can see both. So we pass Eastwind. We get to the McQueen. We get through Midler, Monroe, Hollywood. And then here is where it has our top of descent. So between Hollywood and Bruin. Okay. And it looks like it's just shortly after, really. If you look at the location here, the longitude and latitude locations, really momentarily after. So anyway, I was trying to figure out, well, what's the actual catch here? How do you really figure it out? And so he gave me, and I'm sure this is more still a rule of thumb, but it's a very good calculation. And what the premise behind it is on a 3-degree climb, okay, or a 3-degree descent, all right, which is obviously what we want for the glide slope. Okay, so if we take a look at our cruise altitude, give me a second here. I'm going to do one more thing. So let's just pull up a notepad or something here. So how he had me break this down was if we take our cruise altitude, so we have 36,000 feet is our cruise altitude. Then what we need is our runway elevation. All right, so for that, again, we're going to need the approach plate. So if we take our approach plate, we can see here's the 2 runways that we're looking at for based on the approach, the Hollywood one. Okay, and we can see the runway landing. This is the length. Okay, TDZ, I'm not sure what that is, actually. I don't know what that means. If you guys know what that one means, tell me, please. I don't know what TDZ is. But here is the elevation for the runway. Okay, and this is important, as he pointed out, as the elevation may change in the same airport based on which runway you're landing on. But so, according to the approach plate, we're looking at 128 feet. Now, you can do this, or like he mentioned, you can use Sky Vector. But for today, make it simple, I'm just going to use the approach plate. Okay, I mean, the differences will be, a matter of 10, 15 feet, nothing crazy, I don't think. All right, so we're going to take our altitude of the runway, and then what we're going to do is we're going to subtract it. So let's pull out our calculator here just to keep everything fluid. So we're going to take 36,000, multiply that by 3, okay? So then what we're going to get, let's go ahead and take this guy and go times 3 equals. So now we get 100. Oh, did I not hit enter? Nope. So we get 107,616, right? Is that what basically he got? 29887 multiply that by 3. Okay, so he got something a little differently than I did, but I can tell you why, because he was a few feet lower than me. So let's just keep going here. And then we're going to divide that by 1,000. Okay, now the idea is that's going to be 1,000 feet per minute. Okay, so we're going to take this and divide by 1,000, and we get 107.6. Okay, which we can round up to 108 or 110 miles. Okay, so we can just do divide by 1,000 or descent rate per minute. So for example, if we didn't want that, oops, that actually goes, no, that's right, that's right. So then what we can do here is if we want, we can change this and we can do 107,616, and let's say we wanted to descend at 2,000 feet per minute. Okay, so then we would just do the same thing, divide by 2,000, and that would give us 53 miles away. Okay, and anyway, so this was just the idea that would give you the 3-degree glide slope descent rate. And obviously this is going to be tweaked as you're descending, as even he mentioned in it. You're going to have altitude restrictions and things like that. So it's not 100% critical or on the money, but it gives you a very, very good idea on how to at least calculate what your descent rate is going to look like. And this can actually be applied even in your VFR flights. Okay, if you're not using the instrument flight rules and you're not using the autopilot, this is a good way to plan your top of descent as well for a 3-degree glide slope down to the runway. And again, obviously respecting altitude restrictions and things of that nature. And you can do this from any distance. It's all based on, where you're at and what altitude you're at and what the elevation is, So, if you're cruising at 5,000 feet, and you do your elevation, you'll know when you need to start your descent from, how far you need to start your descent from the runway for a 3-degree landing. So anyway, I hope this made sense to you guys. I am going to give you the formula once again that we have here. So what we're going to do is cruise altitude. Okay. Sorry about that. Minus, so it's your cruise altitude minus runway elevation. And it's important that you use runway, not airport, but runway elevation. Okay. Then multiply by 3. Or here we can do times 3. Okay. And then divided by descent rate. Sorry. Got distracted there for a second. Descent rate. Alright, so anyway, not a long video. I just thought I wanted to share that information with you guys. I'll actually let you guys see. Here's everything that he sent to me exactly. That's probably actually good information to pass on. And again, Transpilot, thank you very much for the information. This is great. So again, for descent, I will show you what I would do in real life for calculating top of descent using your flight plan and your altitude. So first I get the destination airport elevation from Sky Vector, KLX at 113 feet-ish. You have different elevations depending on which runway you land on. Got that. Take your cruise altitude, 36,000 feet, subtract the airport elevation, 113. Then he got the 29887. Multiply that by 3, and he got 89661 or 89661. Jeez. And then divide that by 1,000. Got the 89.661. Your top of descent is 89.6 miles, or if you round it off to 90 miles from the destination. This is based off the standard 3-degree angle, but you can always tweak it. I think it's like 1,250 feet per minute, but like I said, you can always tweak it. So, and that's true. We can go to the autopilot and, adjust the vertical speed. So, for example, if we want to do this one more time real quick to get what the autopilot shows as the descent. Let me see where we are real quick because we're getting close. Yeah, we're approaching Hollywood now. So, oh, wait, never mind. No, we're not. No, we're not. I lied. We're still a ways away. Okay. We're heading towards McQueen, it looks like. Okay. So anyway, let's get back up there for a second. I suppose I can just pull all my documents back up here, huh? Let's bring that up. Alright, so one more time. If we were to do 36,000 feet, we're doing minus 128 feet. Okay. And then we're doing times 3. 107.6, or having 107.6. And then we're going to divide by 1250. We'd be looking at 86 miles away, or 86.1, however you want to do it. So 86, 87 miles away is when you would start the descent. All right. So I really hope that helps, guys. And then all you can do, or to determine, where on the field. So we know we're looking at 86 miles away. If we come up here to, yep, plan is what I wanted, sorry. And let's bump this out a bit. And this part gets a little trickier to see, but you guys will at least get the gist. Let's go ahead and bring Hollywood up. So we know we're looking at an 80-mile range here, right? And actually, let's go back to ARC. There we go. So we know Sivu is here. Okay, this is from here to here, from the aircraft to the top, is 80 miles. That's what we're looking at, right? Or we're looking at 160. Sorry, we're looking at 160. Oh, geez, I could have just used the ARC. I'm a genius. So in this view, what we would be looking at is basically, once KLX crosses this line, because that would be 160 miles, okay? Is that right? No, I'm looking at this wrong. Sorry, I'm going to confuse myself. Let's set that back so I'm not being a retard here. There we go. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. It's Saturday. My brain is turned off. So basically, once KLX crosses this line, would be a good point for us to start descending. Okay, once we can actually see the runway or see the approach, however you guys want to do it. There's a couple of different options, right? And you can actually change it to whatever you want. If you wanted to take your cruise altitude and know how long it would take you to get to 10,000 feet, Okay, I think that's, for example, Sivu is a 10,000 foot restriction. That same rule would apply. Just take 10,000 feet. Okay, so we subtract that, so we'd be looking at 26,000 feet. How long would it take us to get to 26,000 feet, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, guys, I hope that you guys appreciate this tutorial. I know I sort of rambled there for a second, but I just thought it'd be fun information to share. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Be on the lookout for that dot, guys. It'll be here this weekend, I promise. All right, bye-bye.